y'all. Welcome to another episode of Pink and Purpose, where pink meets purpose. And on this podcast, we are creating a safe space for us to build, to heal, to grow, and to become the best versions of ourselves that we're meant to become. I'm your girl, Latoya Curry, and I want to talk about confidence today because, y'all, I really thought I lost my confidence when I gained so much weight. But then I realized I always been plump, pleasantly plump, since I was young. So I had confidence then, so I'm wondering, where did it go? So that's when I got to thinking and I realized I didn't lose my confidence when I gained weight. I lost my confidence when I lost myself, when I forgot who I was. Yes, it happened. I forgot who I was. I know, crazy, right? But no, seriously, I forgot who I was a long time ago. It didn't just start in 24, 25. I started damaging myself young, and we're going to get into that a little bit. But I was married before, and in that first marriage was very defining for my life because I got married at a young age and I thought that I had the answers. I thought that that's who God sent to me. So at that time, growing up in the church, you are taught that once you get married, it is until death do you part. So I dang near killed myself being married, trying to make it the perfect marriage, right? Young and not defined with who I was, even. So I tried to build him. I tried to make him into the man that God had for me. Not the man that God sent me, y'all. Let's not confuse it. I tried to build a man into what God had for me in my mind. Yeah, that was in my mind because that's not necessarily how that works. Not knocking him, not saying he's a terrible person. Him and I just weren't aligned, right? We were good friends. We were cool, but me trying to change him, me trying to build him, me trying to make him into something he wasn't was a huge mistake. And in the process, things happened to where we both got damaged. I damaged myself, he damaged himself, he damaged me, I damaged him. Either way, this is when it began. Most of the time, people will tell you who they are when you ask or in the beginning. We choose to ignore it and think, oh, we can deal with this. Oh, we can fix this. Oh, we can change this. No. If your spirit doesn't align with what that person is saying, like for example, my ex-husband did not like plus size women. Now you tell me what I was doing with a man that didn't like big girls. You tell me what I was gonna do with that type of situation, right? That wasn't what God had for me because it was not like I needed to go and make myself sick trying to be what he liked. I was already who I was, but that is when my confidence began to break. So I started comparing myself. I started looking at these other women. I started seeing and noticing how they look and wondering like why I didn't look that way. What's wrong with me? Why am I not beautiful to the eye? Because in my world, those were the only two men that mattered. Wrong. That is where I should have been doing the work to build the confidence in myself. But at the time, I didn't know it. So, fast forward, that marriage ended terribly. And we ended up not being together after trials and tribulations and things that we've gone through. But I never gained that confidence back, that depression, that sickness, that it was my fault, it was me, society, different eras happening and women looking a certain way and, you know, doing things, getting all these surgeries, losing weight, and their waist they're looking like Coca-Cola bottles, little perfect shaped women. And that's what society was pushing. Society was pushing women like that. So we began to start thinking more about how we look than what's inside. And yes, I fell right in with that. I fell right in with that. I started trying to create a person, create someone other than myself because I didn't want to be her anymore. Well, I was over it. I mean, I didn't look like Nicki Minaj and Beyonce. I didn't look like them. So I didn't want to be me anymore. I no longer wanted to be me. And what do when we start to not like who we are and we start to try to figure out how to be something else? We start compromising. We start compromising and we start trying to become what whoever we are attracted to at the moment likes. If we feel like they like it, oh, we're going to try to be it at any given moment. You start to conform to society and what your person wants you to be. And after so much of that, you actually forget who you are. Let me tell you, I changed myself so much for relationships and friendships that I couldn't even tell you what I like. I don't know. It took me a long time to figure out what I actually liked, what I actually wanted, who I actually was. It took me a while to figure that out to this day because I began to erase the girl that I was, the woman that I was becoming. I wanted to do away with her as if God made a mistake, as if God messed up. I was like, okay, God, I don't know what you're doing here. You done messed this one up. I am completely not anything that I thought I was going to be. You can't have created me and thought that you did something. No, no. Go back to the drawing board. Let's start over. Because at that moment in life, I couldn't see the good in me. I could only see all of the negative things. I could only see what the world saw. I remembered who I was and the game changed. Let's go forward, right? And we'll go back in other episodes. You'll hear more of my story. It'll come all the way out. I'm going to let you know who Latoya Curry really is, where she came from, where she began, where it all started, where it all ended. But fast forward to me meeting my current husband. And oh my God, that was my hero. He liked plus size girls. Oh my God, he just adored everything about me, right? And I started to feel like, oh, I'm it. Still not healing. I'm masking at this point. I'm masking. I'm completely covering up the last situation I was in. The last girl I completely changed her all the way around. And now I started trying to become who he wanted me to be because I was attracted to him. I felt like, you know what? This is God. God sending me. Let me tell y'all how not having the correct knowledge of who God is and what God's word means in your life and for your life can be dangerous. Okay. When you pick and choose what you listen to and what you actually think is for you in church or from people, dangerous. Okay. Because you hear the things you want to hear, like God's going to send me somebody that's for me. And then as soon as you see somebody that you like, you start correlating it to, oh, God must have sent them to me. So you know what? I'm going to do everything in my power to be what I need to be for this person. Not totally bad if it's really who God sent for you. If it's really the person that is aligned with you and what he has for you, right? So I started trying to change myself instead of actually realizing that, you know what, this may be somebody God has for me, but Latoya, you're broken. You haven't healed from your last situation. You can't jump from one situation to the next and think it's going to be okay and it's going to be great. No, did Latoya do that? Nope. This must be the one. So even though I'm not ready, I'm going to get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I gotta be everything that he wants me to be. Everything that he like, I gotta like. Everything that he desires, I gotta desire. Everything he don't like, I gotta not like because God wouldn't have sent me this person if it wasn't for me. So something must be right. So I gotta just go with it. Wrong. Don't get me wrong. You know, he may be what God has for you, right? But your timing has to align with what timing God has and not your own timing. Because you could very well get the blessing that you were supposed to have and mess it all up, right? It take you longer to get to where you're supposed to go because you're rushing your growth. You're rushing your healing. You're rushing your lessons. So because I was doing that and not hearing from God, but I was trying to hear from Latora and make it be what Latora wants. Okay, y'all, I'm getting ready to be 30. Oh Lord, I'm getting older now. I ain't got time to be messing up and picking new men. And this one gotta work because I got stuff to do. I gotta get married. I gotta have kids. Like, what we doing? Like, I ain't got time to be healing. I ain't got time to heal. Right now, I gotta be exactly what this person wants me to be. Damaging myself even more, y'all. Damaging myself to a place that I said, forget me and what I am dealing with. I am going to focus solely on doing exactly what I got to do to get him. Because in my mind, I felt like if I could just snag this man, the things that's wrong with me are going to automatically fix. He's going to fix them. He's going to love me until I start loving myself. I really believe that my husband was supposed to love me until I started loving myself. What's wrong with that? At what point was I supposed to begin to love myself for me and not wait on him to love me? So things started getting hard. Like when he rejected me, in my mind, he wasn't rejecting me, but he was like, look, I like you. We cool. But you got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do. Let's not do this. So what did I do? Child, equated that to, you know what? It's me. It's me. Something's wrong with me to the point where he doesn't like me. He's never going to like me. It is what it is. Instead of actually listening to what was being said, like, this could be your moment. That could be what God has for you. But patience, you have to take your time and get to that place. Because if you mess it up or you go too fast, like, you're going to completely lose out on all the blessings that's for you. And did I lose out on all the blessings that were for me? No, because God continued to give them to me even in my craziness. Because I can't say that, no one's perfect. He had his things, I had my things. And just because two people love each other doesn't mean they don't have to take time to stop and grow apart or grow individually before you can come together. So we're not going to say that, okay, everything with this person or everything that I was doing was wrong or right or whatever. But what I will say is that he grew a lot faster than me in a lot of ways, and I had to catch up. But instead of understanding that, I took that as, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to be equal to. I'm never going to be looked at as this. Well, that wasn't a him problem. That was a me problem because I hadn't gotten that confidence back. It didn't matter what he saw in me. It was about what I saw in myself. And when I looked in the mirror, I wasn't that pleased. Sis, I was like, why do you like me again? Why do you love me? I needed reassurance over and over and over again. Even hearing it didn't stick because I didn't believe it for myself. I pretended to. You couldn't tell me I didn't. In front of people, I believed it, but I didn't believe it. Inside, I could not understand why anyone would love me because I don't even love me. So how can I expect you to want something that I don't want? How can I expect you to respect and appreciate something that I don't respect and appreciate? But we're going to dive deeper. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to what I'm saying. Do you understand? Have you ever gone through that process, right? I think it's called serial monogamous. At the time, I thought that you get from one relationship to the next, it's going to automatically heal you. How many of y'all felt like that was the answer? And how many of you knew that that wasn't? I know I didn't at 26, 25. I didn't know that. I thought that that was the answer. You go from one to the next and you're going to be good. No time to heal. No, none of that. You don't need that because this is going to be what you need. This is it. This is it. God know what you need. He know your heart. You ain't got to worry about nothing else. Tell me how many of y'all could relate to that thought. Who is beautifully designed? What is beautifully designed? Who can be beautifully designed? What does beautifully designed look like? I'll tell you. It looks like me. It looks like you. It looks like every woman out there who've gone through something, who's lost confidence, got it back, gained it back, those still working to heal and become. You are beautifully designed. So get out there and write your pink princess. Do it your way, but you make sure you do it God's way. And you can add a little pink sass too. What's wrong with pink? Everybody loves pink. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. Show your girl some love. I will see y'all next week.